She flared up when I talked about wanting to resign.
How dare you? Who's going to do your work? Who even knows if your womb is strong enough to keep that child?
Excuse me?
You're not excused. You're going to remain here until I find a replacement for you. That stupid pregnancy of yours is not an excuse to quit your job. You're just a lazy woman. Now get out of my office.
Hello, everyone. My name's Steph, and I'm married to Jay. Jay and I met about 6 years ago and got married months later. Last year, we celebrated our 5th-year marriage anniversary. You might be guessing we were already blessed with kids. Well, the opposite was the case. I had no child of my own for 5 whole years. Jay and I had checked ourselves, but we both had no disease delaying childbirth. We were just not blessed yet. My 5th anniversary wasn't enjoyable for me. I felt ashamed of myself. I was already 30 and didn't have any child while my friends already had children. I was surrounded by good people, though. My friends didn't bring their kids to the party. They wanted me to have all the fun I wanted without thinking about my childlessness. I knew they did that with pure intentions, but it made me feel bad. I felt like a bad friend for making them leave their kids behind for me. I was going to hold my emotions, but when I saw some of my friends trying to comfort their kids over the phone, I couldn't take it anymore. I rushed inside the house and burst into tears. Jay must have noticed because he followed me. Seeing me crying, he immediately understood what the issue was.
I can ask everyone to leave if you want, babe.
I didn't want to be ungrateful, so I decided to end the party myself. I left the house with Jay and went to address everyone. I lied about being weak and tired and appreciated them for showing up. I could see that most of them wanted to go, and I felt grateful that they were willing to stay with me even though their kids badly needed them. I ended the party and went back in with Jay. He comforted me, and we went to bed. The next day, I had to return to work. I had a heartless boss whom I didn't want to ever offend. Harper was the manager of the company, and she was known to be strict and evil. Everyone tried their best to avoid her as much as possible. When I walked into the building, the first person my eyes landed on was Harper. I froze, seeing how she was staring at me. I quietly walked over and greeted her. Well, unfortunately, I received a merciless slap on my right cheek, the force causing me to stagger a little.
You're 5 minutes late, idiot. Yesterday was your fruitless wedding anniversary, not today. You had no right to be late.
But there was traffic. I left home early, but there was a heavy traffic. It was announced in the news, ma'am. I was so close to crying. The slap stung so much, and she called my marriage fruitless. Again. Well, nearly everyone at work knew about my childlessness. Even though I hated the sympathy they always showed to me, I hated the fact that my boss always used it to mock me even more.
So I didn't experience the traffic, right? You're so lazy. That's why you don't have a child of your own. The universe probably knows you won't be able to take care of one.
Excuse me, Mrs. Harper, but you're going overboard now. Please stop it. I apologize for being late. It will never repeat itself. It would have been better if she'd just listened to me. But she refused, that troublesome woman. As I was about to walk past her, she suddenly pulled me back by my hair. I let out a painful cry, but she refused to let go of my hair.
Next time, speak responsibly, okay? Do you hear me, childless woman?
I nodded in tears. All I wanted to do was run away and hide. Luckily, my wish came true. Just as she let go of my hair, her attention was shifted to another worker who just came in. I bowed my head in shame and rushed down to my office where I cried quietly. Well, I managed to go through the rest of the day without encountering Harper, and I felt relaxed. Time passed by until August when I began getting some strange symptoms. I would often have saliva in my mouth, pee often, feel dizzy, and so on. When I began sleeping too much at work and noticed that I also missed my period, I went to the hospital for a test. There, I got the happiest and most shocking news I'd ever received.
Congratulations, Mrs. Steph. You're 3 weeks pregnant.
I couldn't stop crying. I was trembling with excitement. I couldn't speak. The doctor had to help me calm down before I was finally able to call Jay. He couldn't believe we were having our child after waiting for so long. He quickly drove to meet me at the hospital. The doctor listed some things to avoid, and stress was among. When we got home, Jay asked me to quit my job. Honestly, I was also considering it because I wanted to experience every single steps toward motherhood. I'll speak to Harper about it tomorrow. I can't believe we're going to have a baby. I'm so happy. Well, things didn't go as planned with Harper. She flared up when I talked about wanting to resign.
How dare you? Who's going to do your work? Who even knows if your womb is strong enough to keep that child?
Excuse me?
You're not excused. You're going to remain here until I find a replacement for you. That stupid pregnancy of yours is not an excuse to quit your job. You're just a lazy woman. Now get out of my office.
I felt so angry about how she spoke to me, but I couldn't do anything about it. I decided to just wait until my replacement was found. When I told Jay, he didn't agree at first.
You heard the doctor, honey. You have to avoid stress. I can't have you continuing to work there. Understand me.
I understand, but I think it's only right to wait until a replacement is found. I promise you I won't stress our baby.
Not just our baby. Don't stress yourself too.
I didn't tell Jay what Harper had said about my womb. He wouldn't allow me work there at all for sure. It could also lead him to wanting to investigate how I was being treated at work. I knew that if Jay happened to hear about Harper's behavior, he would arrest her. He didn't joke with me. Without Harper's knowledge, I'd gone to the CEO of the company. I told her about my years of being childless and finally having a growing child in the womb. Unlike Harper, the woman was so happy for me that she nearly cried. She asked me to take a long break if I still wanted my job back after delivery. I didn't expect that, but I was happy to hear it.
We'll just find a temporary worker until you're ready to come back.
She also gave me a third option, which was working from home at a flexible time. I requested a few days to think about it, and the woman accepted. I left there happily. When I told Jay, he asked me to go with the second option. I went back to the CEO the next day and told him I would appreciate them giving me a chance to come back after childbirth. The woman didn't argue. She asked if I could wait until they found a replacement, and I agreed after she assured me that it wouldn't be up to a week. Well, Harper happened to find out about my talk with the CEO, and she confronted me. Again, she was holding me by my hair in front of so many workers.
You stupid thing. You thought you could make me look bad in front of the CEO?
No, I never said anything about you. She didn't believe me. She slapped me twice and pulled my hair harder, threatening to kill me if I ever told the CEO about her. She also vowed to make me work for 3 months more before she will find a replacement for me. I knew it would get to that. Harper was evil, like I said. Jay refused to accept when I told him about it. After begging for a long time, he asked me to quit if a month elapsed, and I agreed. It didn't take long before 1 month reached. A replacement hadn't been found, and Harper had made me work 2 times harder throughout the month. Immediately after I got my pay, I went straight to the CEO and told him I was resigning. I wasn't going to return after childbirth. It made the woman feel bad. I was forced to tell her the real reason for my action, which was Harper. Her mouth hung open in shock. She couldn't believe her ears, but she agreed to my resignation. The woman decided to go to my department with me because she wanted to speak to Harper. Well, fortunately, he caught Harper right in the middle of bullying another worker. When the CEO appeared, Harper didn't know, so she kept slapping the worker and talking bad about him.
I can't believe this. Harper, is this how you treat my workers after all I've done for you?
We could all see how Harper immediately got scared. She couldn't meet anyone's eyes.
You mocked your fellow woman's childlessness and made her work for longer despite knowing her condition. How despicable can you be, Harper?
She didn't just make me work harder, ma'am. Harper physically abused me several times, as well as other workers. Harper tried to deny it, but a worker suddenly stepped forward and began playing videos of Harper abusing different workers, which she'd recorded. The CEO was livid. She slapped Harper, twice.
You're fired, you stupid thing. Don't ever show your face here again.
We also got to know that Harper was living in one of the CEO's house. The CEO asked her to leave, and Harper rudely left the company. Well, I didn't tell Jay about it. The CEO still told me a space would always be open to me if I ever needed to return to the company after childbirth. About 2 months after the whole issue, I was watching the news when I saw Harper. She was wailing and looked so different. She'd grown leather, her hair looked rough, and she had dark under eyes and huge eye bags. Apparently, she'd tried to invest after she got thrown out of the CEO's life, but it turned out to be a scam. The scammer had scammed her and many other business owners, but Harper's was the biggest. She'd invested all of her money, her entire savings included. The scammer had escaped with everything. I smiled as I watched her in pain and misery. Karma dealt with her real good. I had my baby a few months later. Well, babies. I had twins, a boy and a girl. My husband cried happily. Our families were so happy, and I was too. I felt so blessed having 2 babies. We named them Ariel and Aries. I looked after them for 6 months. Then I decided to return to work. My parents and my parents-in-law were ready to help with the kids while I was away. I returned to the company and became the assistant manager to the manager who got employed after Harper was sent away. The new woman is so nice. I also got to know that Harper had issues with her womb after an accident, which meant she would never be able to birth a child. Yeah, the universe punished her well enough, didn't it?